Hi guys, my name is Coach A, and I will be your guide through this lovely discussion and introduction of day number 60 of At Home Fitness with Coach A. I have some great news today. We're going to retest another benchmark. Yeah! I mean, come on, it's crappy outside. It's going to rain all day, storm on and off. Might as well do something that we can stay inside for. So, we are going to retest benchmark number 2. If you don't remember what that is, stick around for about a minute and I'll introduce it to you. I'll also introduce Warmup, the core and accessory work we're going to do after the benchmark, and the cool down as well as modifications at the end of the video, demonstrating with some of the stuff that we all have in our homes. Stick around. All right, first things first, we're talking warm up. We're going to do 50 jumping jacks and then 3 rounds for quality of 10 scap push-ups, 5 push-ups to a down dog, and a 20-second hollow hold. Let's go through all this. We've talked about it before, done it before, but if you're new, this might not make sense to you. So, a scap push-up is not going to involve any elbow bend and extension. It is essentially all shoulder sliding, if you will. At the top position of a scap push-up, your shoulder blades and upper back are almost going to feel like they're rounded off and bulging, if you will. At the bottom of the scap push-up, they're kind of sinking in, pinching together, almost like you're trying to tap your shoulder blades together behind you. And we're just trying to slide smoothly back and forth between those two positions. So they can be done on the ground, or they can be done elevated to make them a little bit easier, not as much body weight, but also easier for you guys to see in the video. So, hands onto the hampers, push-up position, shoulder blades pinch back together, and then they round off and extend out. All right, so that is a scap push-up. 10 of those is going to be first. The second one is going to be a push-up to a down dog. We've done both of these. Everybody knows what a down dog position is. Everybody knows what a push-up looks like. The idea here is that I'm pressing my chest from the ground into an extension overhead with the hands and arms. Start to the bottom of the push-up, presses up and back, gets that overhead extension. All right, and then finally a hollow hold is just going to be a held hollow position. Toes pointed, knees extended, feet off the ground. Arms overhead, entirety of the core engaged for a 20-second count. Big thing here is I want you to make sure that you're not releasing the hollow in order to breathe. And I also don't want you to hold your breath. I want you to hold the hollow, maintain the engagement in those muscles while you're breathing smoothly through those 20 seconds. All right, so again, 50 jumping jacks and then 3 rounds of 10 scap push-ups, 5 push-up to down dog, and a 20-second hollow hold.
All right, if you guys haven't already figured this out yet, the benchmark number 2 is JT. It is 21-15-9 handstand push-up, then ring dip, then push-up. Obviously, we either have handstand push-ups or we don't. If we don't, check the modification video at the end of the overall video, and you'll be able to see different ways of attacking the same thing. We do have the handstand push-up, looking for full range of motion, all the way down, all the way through. RxJT is a strict handstand push-up. If you need to kip, always make sure you have the facility to do that. You're not going to put a hole in the wall or the floor for that matter if you come crashing back down. Now, ring dips. Not expecting most people to have a set of rings or a TRX strap or anything set up along those lines. If you have 2 boxes that you can do dips on, similar to what I'm going to demonstrate here with 2 same size hampers, that is an interesting way of doing it. You can always elevate those somehow and standing do your dips in a very similar position, or we can do the modified dip with feet in front on those as well. I can always use a table or a chair and a single position by immobilizing it, putting my hands just behind the hips on the chair or the flat surface, and pressing through from there. As always, let's make sure the shoulders stay in a, whether it's a normal upright dip or a lean dip, in a good position, as opposed to rolling all over the place and bowing in all kinds of awkward positions that you guys would never utilize on a handstand push-up or a push-up. All right, same idea. Think about the mechanics, work your way through it. Remember, this is a failure workout, right? The point of this is that you are overloading everything you are using on all three movements. So you have to slow down at some point. If you're not, it's probably going to be done in about 2 minutes and you're going to have a world record JT time. So have a plan on how to break this up so that once you start to fail, you're able to recover a little bit and keep collecting reps, and you're not getting stuck in that position for a long time. All right, our accessory core work to be done after JT might take a little bit of a rest because you guys are going to do some band pull parts and you're going to hold a plank position in your hands. So feel free to take about 5 minutes if you need it. If not, let's go 3 rounds, 15 sit-ups, followed by 30 plank pull-throughs, which I'll demonstrate in a second, and 30 band pull-aparts to try and get a little bit of balance with all that exhaustive pushing that we did in the workout. So if you haven't done a plank pull-through yet, the idea here is I'm going to hold a plank position on my hands. And with weight, in this scenario, I'm going to pretend like Sarah's giant purse has a bunch of weight in it. You guys can always use a book bag that you stuff a bunch of stuff in, dumbbells, kettlebells, a plate, whatever, all right? But the idea is we need something to actually move so that we can fight against that movement and rotation with our core, effectively working an anti-movement core workout with things that, with objects, with loads that are being transferred back and forth. So again, into that plank position. From here, I take the opposite arm or wherever the weight is. So it's on my left side, I use my right arm, and I pull that weight over to that side. Hand goes down, and I go back. All right, we're going 30 total reps. That's going to be 15 each arm. The idea here is that we're pretty much working through this, whatever our pace needs to be. 15, 30, 30, 3 rounds. All right, guys, we're talking modifications. For JT, dips are pretty simple. We have to get ourselves in that type of position. How we finagle that with the equipment or the objects we have around us is essentially up to us. It doesn't really change the difficulty all that much once you bring your body weight from the rings or something elevated and hanging down onto the floor. Push-ups, standard push-up scale, as we've always used, well, technically 2 that we've always used before. One being the knee push-up, the other one being the foot push-up, but with a change to the range of motion. All right, yoga blocks go down under my upper abdomen. I lower down to the yoga block, shortening the range of motion and pressing back up from there. All right, now handstand push-ups. A couple of different things we can do. We can elevate the hips into a pike position, putting the feet at the bottom of the wall, pushing that butt up and back, and doing our overhead press from there. We can always do that with the feet elevated as well. Put them up on that chair or the hampers that I had earlier. Or we can take, if we have weights, and do a Z press, butt down, knees straight, legs open 90 degrees, dumbbells in my hand, pressing up overhead. All right, remember, the idea is 3-directional pushing, essentially, okay? We have overhead pressing with the handstand push-up. We have downward pressing, essentially, with the ring dips. And we have a horizontal push with the push-ups. All right, so as long as we're getting ourselves in a good position that isn't causing pain or damage, and we're able to work in 3 different directions, we have the idea of JT.